Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. We are here with the National Oval Race Association at Phoenix International Raceway. Should be an awesome race here tonight as Dalton Tucker and Brian Jones will take our front row here tonight as we have eliminated the dogleg here at Phoenix. No luck of guys being able to slice that track in half out there to see if they can save just a little bit of time. NASCAR swears up and down that is not the case, and it does not get them any extra time or move them up in the field, but we've seen multiple races of that is not the case. You can gain some time out there, but it's extremely tough, especially on the next-gen cars. Tonight, we are in the Gen 4s as we are narrowing the season down. Only 2 races after this one, and we will be crowning a champion. Most likely the 42 Chevrolet out there of Dalton Tucker, who just cannot seem to be beat out there. And we'll take a look at what our race will consist of here tonight for the Checo Auto Parts 500. We'll have 187 laps set for these guys with a 77% fuel limit. 10 sets of tires down there in the pit on a fixed setup. All right, I'll be your lead producer tonight with Stella joining alongside me, and Greg Tyson will be hanging out there for race control. 91 degrees out there on the track. That is fantastic here. So let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid, going ahead and kicking this one off, and we'll also review over our points a little bit later on here in the race. Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones. Yep, that's a solid front row there. Looks like Brian Jones a little bit slow there on his start. There he goes, getting that expel machine up there to the number 2 spot, where number 3 will go to Nick Gillis out there in the Ryan Newman machine. He'll be starting 3rd next to Josh Conover in everybody's favorite Dale Jr. car. Moving on to Jacob Gladlick and Matthew George for row number 3. Cody Reeder sitting in the number 19 car. He'll be 7th next to Vincent Arthur. Arthur coming off a pretty close, almost a win there, but no dice. He's looking to see if he can get a win here at this track. He'll be starting 8th. Brady Motes is 9th. Nick Cressy, glad to see him joining back here in the 0 car. Look to see as it's driven by Ward Burton out there. Currently that leaves us with John Scavnicki, Wayne Eastwood to sit in the 12th spot. And moving on to Ryan Housden, Hunter Sr., and Nick Ham. That's going to be a solid row here as we get ready to get these guys underway. And Stella, joining alongside here tonight, we are taking a look at kind of how these guys are moving around with the track. Remember, there's no dog leg here, so the start-finish line does move.
It does. We've got it moving from where we're used to seeing it in the front there to the cactus, I believe you call it.
All right, yep, and we will be heading to the lit-up cactus out there as they get around for one more time here. Go ahead before we get this one underway. I see Jay out there, first one on the board to say hello. Margot Guzik from the Bandit Racing League. Appreciate you joining along beside us here tonight as well. And I see Alanis out there, so rooting on Brian Jones on mute, though, hoping that 45 expel machine can come away with a win. Brian Jones needs almost Dalton Tucker to wreck out on this one to see if he can make up the distance and get underway. Well, speaking of underway, what do you say we get under green here, where we see already a little fumble by the number 12. Nick Gillis on the wheel backwards here as it looks like he jams up the inside line. Jacob Gladlick playing chase here, and that is going to already separate our leaders. Brian Jones quickly into the lead.
Yeah, that didn't take long at all. He said, I see fresh air, I'm taking it.
Well, Brian Jones has done this plenty of times before, but Dalton Tucker does sit back and wait to attack. That leaves us with Brian Jones, Dalton Tucker, and Josh Conover, 1, 2, and 3. Moving back to Nick Gillis, who I said jammed up that line, has now already sent the Home Depot machine back to 8th and possibly 9th. Cody Reed taking a look at the Mountain Dew machine. Outside line, going to get a full clear. Lap number 2 is underway. Been pretty dicey here so far. John Scavnicki, you see kind of peeking in from the outside of the screen. Gets the 84 Wayne Eastwood behind him, and now on to Brady Motes.
Outside line following and passing Jacob Gladlick here. Sorry, I got distracted again. Different inside there. But looks like Brady Motes will push him along and make his own. There we go. His own little pass.
Yep, well, we're taking a look at riding along here with John Skabnicki. Take a look as he follows behind Brady Moats. We're on a camera with a little bit of a gimbal here, so you can see just how much banking there is to the turns and see how these cars are angled in. Right now, John Skabnicki, he'll have a fast line if he can stay behind Brady Moats. Actually fights the wheel a little bit there, and now it's going to cost him. Currently, Gladelick will hold on to the 10th spot. Skabnicki wants to take a peek and see if he can get in there. Speaking of getting in, Lockridge Motorsports. Hey, buddy, appreciate you joining us here tonight as we are winding down this season with the National Oval Racing Association. Stella, correct me if I'm wrong, 36 races these guys have raced here so far, and they're going to be pretty excited to have this one all over.
I we have after this, which will be the two for the final Darlington Crown Jewel races, so you will have to tune in next week a little bit early. And Homestead will be the finale on the 24th.
All right, we're going to make some adjustments out there. I see you currently Lockridge Motorsports. Not happy with the way the race is sounding out there. We'll see if we can change things around just a hair here and see if we can kind of pick it up just a bit and square everything away out there on the track. All right, and here in the production booth, Stella Hunter Sr. has moved up one position here, but man on the move is going to go to the number 24 of Vincent Arthur. From 8th to 4th in less than 10 laps, he's looking to run down Josh Conover and go ahead and get that Bud machine sitting behind him.
Oh yeah, Vincent Arthur is going to make whatever moves he can to get up front. That seems to be where he is most comfortable.
All right, taking a look here. Brian Jones still leading this one. Dalton Tucker right on his tail, not letting him get over that half a second mark. He does want to see if he can get some separation, but no can do. That's Dalton Tucker looking off the backside here of the expelled number 45 Ford. He's still in the lead here. No problems from Brian Jones. I'm hoping he can stay pretty solid here for this race. A lot of people rooting him on out there in the chat. I know LJ Hernandez, I'm sure, will be in here in just a moment. He'll send his vote toward Brian Jones as we take a look at Cody Reeder here to the inside of Nick Geilis.
Yeah, looking good. I like these clean passes. I like a lot of passing. That, to me, is the best part of this.
All right, we take a look here on lap number 9 with Cody Reeder trying to fend off the number 12, Nick Geilis, of trying to get his position back. Our drivers are starting to pick up speed, but not exactly where you would think. Actually, the 13th on back, these guys have actually picked up 0.2 of a second in the past couple of laps. That's starting with Ryan Housden, Hunter Sr., and Nick Ham. Oddly enough, Dalton Tucker sits up in that second position, but the rest of his teammates sitting outside the top 10. Expect Dalton Tucker to meet up with them a little bit later on here in this race with 187 laps. They'll have plenty of time to find each other. We just hope it's not down pit road. Let's take a look here at Brady Moats going ahead and letting John Skabnicki gain his second place here tonight as the number 1 fast tracker boat. To the outside, switches to the inside, and now he's going to dive down to the bottom here. Currently seeing if Brady Moats can slide on through the John Andretti machine, taking another peek, swerving all over the place. Stella, during practice, Brady Moats, I've got to say, a little out of control.
Yeah, he just tagged that wall a little bit, let him know he was here. I think he was probably on the losing end of that stick. But you're saying the guys in 10th on back are gaining speed, but right now Brian Jones, with number 45, is holding the best speed per lap in this race so far. He's only sub 28 second lap. He's at a 27.836.
Well, as you say that, take a look who's starting to reel him in. Dalton Tucker, less than a quarter of a second right off his bumper here. Currently, the Haviland machine taking a look here to the inside, deciding not to do anything yet, as Dalton Tucker is seeming to wait his turn. We hop on top here of Dalton Tucker's number 42 Chevrolet. We take a nice dive through 3 and 4 here. We'll be heading down the front stretch to find our lit up cactus here. You'll see it along the side right about that start finish line mark, and we pass it on by. Currently everything looking pretty solid here so far. Dalton Tucker does not seem to be under any pressure, but John Skabnicki putting now Nick Pressey under pressure.
Nick Pressey currently making his third or so comeback of this season. He's curious whether he makes one more comeback and he gets high. That would be up to the admins.
All right, well, Nick Pressey has been dealing with computer issues. After the computer issues, then he was dealing with pedal and wheel issues, and Nick Pressey finally able to finish it off, come away with some decent equipment here, and definitely be able to put on a fight here. Speaking of fight, take a look. Pressey let the 43 of John Scavnicki pass him, letting him gain his third position on the night. Pressey actually starting to roll backwards here. Check out Brady Moats to the inside. Easy pass here for the number 1. Looks like the Zero Machine is having a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, made a little wall contact back there while Scavnicki went by. Kind of gave him a little bit of the willies, and that wall is just starting to look really big on him.
Yep. Well, Nick Pressey, whoop, little scrub to the wall again. That's going to go ahead and let the Home Depot machine underneath of him here. Jacob Gladelick racing the Tony Stewart car is sliding underneath, and the 84 machine driven out there by Kyle Busch will go ahead and give that wheel to Wayne Eastwood. He'll be taking a look here to the inside. Currently pretty strong here so far, except Nick Pressey. I think the little camera time here is starting to melt his tires off. Not quite sure what's going on here, as this definitely hurts. Guys, if you have tuned in to SimTraX Broadcasting before, keep in mind everybody up there on our ticker up top in green is in our playoffs here. Some closer than others. Guys in yellow are not in the running, which is rather unfortunate for them. Some eliminated a little too early. This is not a elimination rounds. They are given about, I believe it was 10 races. And then the best out of those 10 races will do it. And currently, Dalton Tucker does hold that record so far for the amount of wins he has collected during the playoffs here. He's 3/10.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have.
Go ahead.
Sorry, to have 9 wins and 8 poles for Dalton Tucker. That's pretty impressive. The only other poles are Brian Jones with 7 wins and Vincent Arthur with 6.
Yep, I think Vincent Arthur pretty close out there as he continues to collect win after win. It's finally starting to come alive. Vincent Arthur's actually had his hands full this year as the DuPont Chevrolet, quick on his pit stop times. Some have been just a slight hair faster than the Rainbow Warriors out there, but we're hoping that's not going to be Vincent Arthur's issue tonight. It seems everything definitely collects and gets him in some trouble out there. I believe he was suspended for the Martinsville race. He could say that's probably a blessing out there that he didn't have to race at the Virginia Paperclip.
Oh, no. And why would you say that?
Well, Martinsville definitely tends to be an extremely messy race. Stella, I'm sure you've got some info on how many cautions we did have.
We did have 4, actually. It was not that bad of a race. I hope I thought it was kind of exciting, even with a low car count. We had a lot of good moves out there. People showing their expertise, like you said, on the big.
Yep, I love racing at short tracks. Martinsville being one of them out there. It does take a lot of finesse to get into that turn. You get a little bit ugly out there. Things happen, such as I believe it was back when Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano got into it, not but 5 years or so ago. The two of them had gotten into a little mix-up. The Hail Melon out there from Ross Chastain. We've seen a ton of stuff happen at Martinsville, so I would expect Vincent Arthur to hopefully stay out there on the track for the remainder here of the year and start to rack up those points. Stella, not too many changes there for the points, as we're going to take a quick peek at them here. At where these guys ended up or where they still remain. Here we are with the championship standings with Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, and Jacob Gladelick. Really hats off to the Joe Gibbs racer out there in the number 20, as he is currently holding in third. He passed Cody Reeder last week, as Cody Reeder kind of got smoked out there a little bit earlier. I think there was some contact there from the 24 that ended up getting our KPR Motorsports team, or racing with Evernham Motorsports this season. Has caused a little bit of animosity toward the 24 out there. So a lot of drama happening out there on the track. But I've got to say,
now,
where it matters
Reeder's
is in the
only
points.
4 points. Yeah, 4 points behind for Cody Reeder with Jacob Gladlick and looking at where they are on the track right now, that may switch back pretty quick, like this race. Everybody finishes kind of where they are.
Yep, well, don't knock out Cody Reeder or say Gladlick isn't going to make it. There's a reason he's made it into the playoffs. Not a single win here, but this guy definitely has got the consistency. He comes out here to the track each and every week. I believe he's only missed one.
Yep.
And with him missing one there, you know, it definitely shows that just showing up, scoring points, completing laps, these guys are able to continue on and make a show here. All right, let's roll back to where we were. Speaking of which, Jacob Gladlick rolling back now another position. Unfortunately, his Chevrolet joined along with the ones 9th through all the way to the end of the field, and he finds himself on the back half of those Chevrolets. Jacob Gladlick now falls to 13th. This is definitely painful out there for the Home Depot machine, originally driven by Tony Stewart out there, and currently he is kind of having some issues out there. Stella, taking a look at his lap times, currently deep into the 29.5-second range. This is not good, especially seeing a 1.1 second fall off 27 laps into this.
Yes, I'm noticing most everybody, we are in the 29s, even Brian Jones up there. So when do we anticipate them coming in for tires?
Tires, it's hard to say whether this track is going to be a tire track or a fuel track. Most of these guys are kind of laying back just a little bit, thinking that if they can march off about another 8 laps, they will be coming in for fuel and tires. So if they can try to square this away and get pretty close out there, they're going to give it a go. Stella, I would expect to see this go to waiting for fuel rather than waiting for tires. I think everybody's just run and gunned it here and kind of burned the tires up a little bit here in this first stint. And it's going to be a lot different out there, especially when Brian Jones and Dalton Tucker do their little, I would say their hop, skip, and jump, a little bit of hopscotch down there in pit road. One person pits, and then not but a lap later, the other one pits, and then they end up switching places. It blows my mind how just a small pit stop can change the outcome of the race, but we've seen it happen not only to those two. Cody Reeder has changed it up. Dustin Kleba has changed it up. It's just, to me, it's pretty wild of what they can do.
And that's somebody we're missing tonight, too. One of our playoff drivers is Dustin Kleba. He is missing this race, but should be back next week.
Yep. Yeah, Dustin Kleba had noted that he was not going to be able to attend Phoenix, but pretty excited about Darlington. And Dustin Kleba has been extremely strong at Darlington, so I expect to make him to be a strong racer and be a strong finisher as well. Take a look at Ryan Housden taking a peek on the outside of the 43 machine. We're going to see if he can get the target machine around the Cheerios. Can do. Right now he's going to have to sit back just a little bit. Brian Jones still leading this one. All to 32 laps here so far for the number 45 Ford of Brian Jones. He's been strong here after he's taken the lead. Dalton Tucker hanging back though. We keep our eyes here on our closest drivers. Right now, Brady Moats, Wayne Eastwood, Scavnicki, Housden, and Hunter Sr. All these guys are within half a second. And currently, Ryan Hunter Sr. looking to close that gap just a little bit to his teammate of Ryan Housden.
Oh, and we have our first take Cody Reeder in the 19.
Yep. Black Ridge Motorsports out there says Ziza is twitching a little bit, seeing how that front nose is ducking down. That is a builder out there for some of these cars. He actually builds the setups out there that you guys can either use, purchase, or race on his team. I'll take my word on that last part, though. But as he is going through a lot of training so far, getting his guys out there on the track. We've names like Lilith Peters comes to mind out there, able to knock down some solid times and some wins. Currently working his way out of pit already is Cody Reeder. There he is, getting up to speed as he's going to tuck in front of Brady Moach, who's currently sitting in 7th. And let's see the difference here at Cody Reeder. Fresh tires, goodbye. Yeah, you see just how much easier he sticks to that track. Brady Motes was taking a peek. No can do. So as he drives off, we're going to stick with Brady Motes as currently the 84 of Wayne Eastwood. Noticing those tires starting to settle in a little bit. They're starting to stick to the track, starting to wear out. Track's starting to rubber up, get a little slick. CarQuest machine's starting to definitely open it up here. Wayne Eastwood has been picking up speed, a 10th per lap, and currently Brady Motes might be in some trouble here.
Well, hopefully it won't be like last week. Brady Motes had the most amazing time driving sideways, but he maintained for most of the race. The comeback, the recovery incidences were quite amazing.
Yep. I think the cameras are mixing you up there a little bit as we sit there with Wayne Eastwood taking a look to see if he was going to be able to complete that pass around Brady Motes. Motes able to squirt away here as the turn exit of turn 3 and 4. Diving back underneath, it's going to be Wayne Eastwood taking another peek. Can't seem to get that clear though. Whoop, little slip up there. Motes is going to capitalize on that. Eastwood now back to half a second.
Yeah, last week we had 14 drivers on the track, and do you know we had 7 different leaders out of those 14? So at one point or another, we had 7 different people with at least 2 laps left. I think that's kind of neat.
Yep.
Sometimes we only have like 2 leaders, 3 leaders, but this is 7 leaders and 15 lead changes last week with only 1 car.
Yeah, not bad. I've got to admit, I believe a few races ago, which to me is good when I can't recollect the race where we had, I believe, almost a record amount of cautions. The National Oval Racing Association has definitely cleaned it up. When I can count the amount of cautions on one hand, in the last 3 to 4 races, that is a lot better. I believe we were somewhere close to 20 cautions in one race. Absolutely dismal.
16. The one I have is 16.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the one before it was even was pretty bad as well. It ended up being like 2 or 3 races in a row where it was mostly eye-pacing. That is definitely heartbreaking, especially if you're out there racing for points. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at our 3 playoff drivers currently sitting on our podium positions. Brian Jones starting to pull away from Dalton Tucker. We've got currently Vincent Arthur sitting 3rd. So right now, everything looking pretty good here so far. Vincent Arthur, even Lockridge Motorsports, says he's rooting on the 24. The guy's got some pretty brilliant driving out there. Vincent Arthur has been very strong here in the National Oval Racing Association. I will say back in the next-gen cars, he was actually the one to beat. This guy was just about impossible to pass. This guy would be able to get away. I think we may have met his match, though. We put Vincent Arthur here in the Gen 4th. And this is the first time I've seen him battling to stay inside the top 5 in the points.
Yes, I agree. It was the introduction, I think, also of Mr. Brian Jones that might have made a little bit of a difference there, too.
All right, working his way down pit road is going to be Nick Ham out there in the 23 machine. Driven out there during this time by Dave Blaney. Currently Josh Conover looking to see if he can slice that track just a little bit, change it up just a hair, as he sits currently about 5.5 seconds back from our leader. And already tons of separation here. Stella, I'm looking, if my timer's right, Nick Gillis, our top 5 are separated by 10 seconds.
It's true.
Yuck.
Might get to be more if he keeps doing that swishing thing.
Yep. Yeah, Jay out there saying it's only lap 40. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
He always blames it on you because you'll say something about a particular color and then poof, and so see, you did that.
Yep. I'll tell you what I would like to get as the next upgrade to my rig would be that iFlag system. That would be fantastic. there are ways that they can show when you pass or when a caution comes out, when the green flag happens, and it definitely changes everything around. I definitely like the way that looks. If you're not sure on this, Stella, you should probably look that up. The I flag, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Hunter Sr.'s making some moves on Mr. John's schedule out there. And I was kind of curious if he's going to get clear or not. He's given it a try a couple times on his last few times. But it looks like number 43 is holding the marks.
Yep. Well, some guys actually, Stella, honestly, I'm really surprised here to see how long these guys are hanging out. They are deciding to hang out for the tires. And here we are. Brian Jones and Vincent Arthur coming down. So first and third are now entering into the pits. Dalton Tucker's going to stay out. Cody Reeder came in super early on lap number 32. I think he said that was enough fall off. As here comes Cody Reeder getting one of his laps back the hard way. See if Dalton Tucker decides to duck on in. Yes, he does. Cody Reeder. Still down the lap, though, as he's got to wrap around. This may put the number 19 into the lead if he can maintain some speed out there. Well, let's roll back to Matthew George. Currently sitting now fourth. To look into the inside comes Wayne Eastwood. Eastwood dives down to the bottom. Still a driver who's yet to pit. Almost drops it off the table there as you saw the car flatten out. I think he had flashbacks to racing back on the dog leg.
Well, Hunter Sr. seems to have slipped into the pits without me noticing, but he will be landing in his pit box here.
Oh, he's already in the pit box. That boy's already getting the left side tires on. So the Sterling Marlin Silver Bullet getting out of pit road. There he goes.
Nice.
Nick Ham, tons of time. He's been sitting down in pit road. This is definitely a hateful run for him so far as he sits beyond 3 minutes. As you see Ryan Housden now entering his pit box. Currently we stick with our drivers who have yet to pit here. Matthew George letting Brady Moats on by as Moats had a solid line. And Moats now moves up to the 4th position. Josh Conover leading this race, trying to get 5 extra bonus points for leading the lap. He gets it. So we are still waiting for Vincent Arthur sitting down in the 14th position. Cody Reeder sitting 9th. And everybody shifting on around. Here comes Conover. Hits the brakes.
It looks like Ryan Housden really got a good pit stop. I mean, he's sub 15 seconds.
Yeah, not
Everyone
bad.
else is not.
Yeah, fantastic job of the 1478. 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. And back out he goes. Stella, this would be a fantastic idea. Is what type of fuel were these guys using during this time? Who was the sponsor of the fuel? Were we in the Sunoco or were we back with 76?
Holy cow.
Yeah,
okay.
baby. Let's see if we can get that. That'll trip you up a little bit. And if Jay answers you correctly before that, he does have a 50-50 shot here. All right, Wayne Eastwood holding the lead. The 84 machine. Sunoco fuel.
Yep. In 2004, Sunoco became the official fuel of NASCAR, replacing 76 as
Unbelievable. So I was at the right time range.
I mean, profit. You scare me. You
Unbelievable.
Do.
Wayne Eastwood.
Yep.
Getting an extra little bit of time out there. Wayne Eastwood, not one of our playoff drivers. Brady Moats would be, and so would Matthew George, who are currently sitting 2nd and 3rd.
May not be a playoff driver, but it's nice to see him back. He's had a little hiatus away from NORA. Look, we got a couple more now that have figured out how to do that fast pit stop. Nick Lilas, 1477, and a Josh Conover, 1482.
Yep, Conover, that's going to pay off dividends there as he's able to hopefully close the gap on Dalton Tucker that he was unfortunately lacking before those two came down. Now, Josh Conover, with pitting so much later than the other guys out there, he stuck out another 3 more laps compared to Dalton Tucker. And 4 more laps compared to Brian Jones. and I believe 18 laps compared to Cody Reeder. Now, Reeder is known for offset pitting, and he could have the winning strategy here. Currently, he will obtain the lead if he can stay out in front of his teammate of Brian Jones. Jones will be trying to get him very quickly. Our leader of Wayne Eastwood working his way on down. Jones is 1.3 seconds behind his own teammate, and right now we are looking at Moach, George, Jacob Gladelick, and Nick Cressy. Currently sitting out there on the track, yet to pit, as I say that. The 25 machine working his way on down, driven out there by Brian Vickers.
That only leaves out 3 fellas, Brady Moach, Jacob Gladelick, and Nick Cressy, who have not come in yet. Oh, Jay, don't be cheeky.
Oh, he's looking at the track signage there.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is a legacy track, and when was the last time this thing was paved? I thought it was paved back in
Not until 2011.
Ha!
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was paved in 2011.
Weaponize that autism.
There we go. See? So, if this is a legacy track, this could be the 2010 scan before they changed it all. Cody Reeder's got the lead here, finally out in front. I think his time will be short-lived, though. Cody Reeder sitting in that #1 spot. But look at the speed the two got behind him.
Oh, and away they go.
Yeah, let me tell you right there, that was a pivot move there from Brian Jones to use his teammate there. That's why you see Jones swings high and send Dalton Tucker low. Can't go low because his teammate's there. Fantastic. So, 2 drivers laps down here. Nick Cressy still a lap down, and Nick Ham. Nick Ham still down in pit road for the last 8 minutes. I'm wondering if he's having some trouble. But that does run us in to our 13th and 12th place drivers. Currently, they are going to see these leaders crawling up the backside of their car here really quick. As we take a look, Brian Jones back into the lead. He's looking to see if he can collect 5 more bonus points here during this race for leading the most.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Brian Jones and Dalton Tucker also were able to adjust by here. They're looking at 15-lap newer tires. So was that a good strategy as far as coming in on lap 32 for Cody Reeder?
It's possible. If Cody Reeder, if he gets a favorable caution, he will be the one on the fresher tires, possibly, depending on timing. He won't pit. Everybody else will, and he will be able to stick it out there and shift all the way up the track. So I don't second guess what Cody Reeder does. This guy has surprised me way too many times to do anything out of the ordinary. He can seem to come up with just different plans, different strategies he works around out there, and he has been changing it up. So, Stella, we talked a little bit about the pit road strategy out there. 4 tires of fuel for just about everybody out there. No changes, a couple of guys tweaking an adjustment, taking a peek here and there. But Dalton Tucker here. Dalton Tucker has been spending the last few laps trying to set Brian Jones up. The turn #1 is where he's kind of hinting at. As he gets ready to head into turn #1, he has been sticking that nose down toward the bottom. Jones does have to make a quick block there to slice down onto the inside as we sit here with Dalton Tucker. Notice how smooth that wheel. There it is. There's the bump. So as he reels in Brian Jones, this has got to be a wonderful view. Not everybody gets a chance to be close to the lead or even this close.
Woo! Very close.
Yep, Dalton Tucker. Very good turn exit out of turn #1 and 2. And here he comes into 3. Has to check up a little bit. You do see his shift light coming on occasionally. He is staying in that 4th gear. Getting ready to roll on out. Here's a fantastic turn. Here's Dalton Tucker taking a look to the inside. The Expel machine is going to fall victim as they dive into turn #1 and 2. A little bit closer here. The Haviland machine takes a look to the inside. Dalton Tucker looking to get the lead back. He hasn't had it since Brian Jones went in the pit.
Not this round, though.
Yep, Jones is going to look to see if he can slice back. He's going to lose this position here if the 42 can get the pull through, and he does.
while we were watching this fantastic exchange, Cody Reeder did come down. He said, nope, I came too early. I've got to go back in. Everybody's smiling past me. And on lap 62, he came in for another set of tires and fuel.
Oddly enough, Cody Reeder coming down on lap 32 only takes 30 laps on these tires, when we've seen guys being able to stretch it out 50 laps. Josh Conover, good mark there. At lap 50 is when he decided to come down. Other guys between lap 55 and 56, but drivers like Brady Motes sitting back in the 10th position now. This is unfortunate. Is lap number 56. Remember, they've got 10 sets of tires down there in pits. I would question, where's that happy medium spot? Obviously, 32 might not be it. 56 might just be a little bit too long. I would say it's probably a nice safe bet of just under 50 laps. Would be a good time to come down. The tire fall off is just too intense.
So it will be a tire track versus the fuel track is what you're telling me.
That's it.
I try.
Yep. Not bad. Lap number 67 almost complete here as Dalton Tucker has gained the lead. Being able to pull away with this one. Brian Jones starting to feel that weird feeling he's had all season as slowly the 42 Chevrolet is starting to slip away. Now up to 6/10. Dalton Tucker looking to stretch it to 7/10. And turning on the afterburners, Brian Jones makes up almost about a little over a tenth there. As he starts, yeah, just on one turn, trying to squeeze him just a little bit closer. If I were Brian Jones, now's the tire strategy game. We already know that the fuel will make it. Now it's just who can take care of their stuff.
Fair.
All right. I was about to say not returning to the track will be the number 23. Nick Ham was able to reactivate that car, and back on track he goes. Let's check back in with the number 40 here of Hunter Sr. Senior going ahead and letting Skabnicki go for, and there it is, LJ Hernandez. Appreciate you joining us here out there in the chat. And Margot Guzik is asking, is the new Bandit League started up or have they started? I believe so. I think it's the BRRL. And that, from what words, I believe David Lakey is heading that one off. Yeah, I don't know 100%. I know a good chunk of the drivers from the Bandit Racing League have gone over there. I think Bill has taken a peek and is doing a little bit of that, but we are not broadcasting that league. I know they are working on collecting drivers. I think even Kevin Foster, I think, is over there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have not been keeping tabs on that. I knew, a few things around the league. I choose to stay out of it. Nick Ham staying on the bottom as Brady Motes makes the quick cut over. Brady Motes currently sitting in that 10th spot. A great job here so far. 72 laps caution-free. Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, Josh Conover sitting in third. Moving on to Nick Geilis all the way back, another 6.5 seconds. And then rounding out our top five is going to go to Wayne Eastwood. Eastwood trying to run down Geilis. Ryan Howland switching it up. Both these guys, the 84 and the 41, have both gained 7 positions here on the night to round out our 5 and 6 spots. Moving on to 7th, where we find Vincent Arthur. He had been tumbling around up there in the 4th and 3rd positions, but a 15.17 pit stop time and hanging out to lap 47, which might have been a little early. Oddly enough, Vincent Arthur might have had some trouble here. He was rolling behind Dalton Tucker, around Brian Jones when they came on down into pit road at the identical times. And John Skabnicki sits in 8th, Hunter Sr. 9th, Brady Motes in 10th. Moving on to Matthew George, who is in the 11th. Jacob Gladelick is 12th. Nick Pressey coming in the 13th spot here, trying to run down those couple of positions there as the second driver. Brian Jones makes the pass. Cody Reeder now down into 14th, and I'm wondering if he's starting to kind of tap on that fuel gauge, seeing if he can make it just a little bit farther next time. And Nick Ham round the outer field.
All back up there, though. I just like to see somebody try to make it to the end.
Yep.
Even if part of their race is the pit stop.
Yep. A couple different things I like to see out here as well. A couple more drivers that were able to attend tonight. I'm definitely excited to see these guys kick back off for the 2005 season. I will admit that it will most likely be a little bit later next year. So we'll see if they have any sort of filler out there between now and then. Other than that, Stella, you and I are going to be on a rather long vacation.
Oh, sorry. Actually, my vacation starts Friday. You are going to be on your own for the finals.
Dang. All right, well, I guess the Mountain Dew Southern 500 is going to be all me at Darlington. Should definitely be a busy race, especially with how many drivers we definitely stack up here. You know, a lot of big names I miss seeing out here. Drivers like Martin Clute and Christopher Darling not being able to make it out here. If we can get Tyler the Talent to stop playing in the dirt.
Is he making mud pies again?
I guess. What's another name? What's another name I'm missing here?
Oh, this.
Derek Chaput. We're missing the Ricky Craven car of Eric Essery. So, and the big one, Blake Hoppy.
How about both Durheims?
Yep. Yeah, I like to see those boys starting to get collected up here and try to.
Where's Kevin Baldwin?
I think probably upset.
He's a playoff driver. He's not here.
Yep.
Jake Christenberry.
Yeah, the AOL machine didn't. Hasn't made it out to the track for some time, and I believe, the Lowe's machine out there for the Jimmy Johnson car. Jake Christenberry. I knew Christenberry had been getting pinballed out there for a few weeks. So hopefully he isn't having any sponsor problems.
What, Munsk and Krovac?
Man, and you want to talk about some fast drivers, you know?
Yep.
I mean, Anthony Krovac, we were talking Mike Moultrie. I think you and I were discussing that before the race. Even Mike Moultrie, where's that guy? That was, to me, so one of the ones, if you see Dalton Tucker or Brian Jones up there, you'd probably say Mike Moultrie's in the top 5.
Yeah, but he gave his car over.
Yep. Yeah, which is pretty wild, but sometimes teams don't work out, we take a look at some of the car numbers like the 98. How many guys were cycling in and out of Ryan Hausman's car out there?
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, yeah, you said Chaput, I remember him. He's a Andujar?
Oh yeah, Joseph Andujar?
There you go, okay. Yep, haven't seen him in a dog's age.
Yep, I think he was in the 01. Should have been the Army car.
Sounds right. You know me. Shoot.
Yeah, definitely a couple guys shifting around. I know Jay out there. He has been out there racing a little bit, trying to increase his license. See if he can get out here on something other than a rookie license. Other than that, as long as you're not a rookie, you can come out here and give it a run. I would say Josh Conover guy and Brady Mosey's got some of the admins out here. I know I'm forgetting a bunch of them. But they don't like rookie license because they don't know, but a D license is fine because there are some guys that just don't race officials. And I've got to admit, sometimes I don't blame them because the penalties do not sway correctly sometimes.
Or you get the guys that are just, I don't know. I found a channel up on, I think it was YouTube, and all of this field.
Yep.
Sorry. Was go out and crash people.
Yeah.
Because it was, and that was his shtick. And it was like that, people really try hard, they take this seriously. They spend 6 hours making a setup, and you come out and just go, hey, watch. That's just not right. I mean, how do you get rid of a person like that? That's just ill.
Yeah, you can send a protest into iRacing and tell them that you're upset with the race and how the officiating went, but it does not, it is not remedied quickly. And all they do is make another attempt and just do it again.
That makes sense. Well, two fellas went past Vince and Arthur there, like he was standing still, but Nick Guylas stopped him up for just a second, and boy, he lost some time from the leaders. But Vince and Arthur has now made it past Nick Guylas, and he's moving on.
Yep, down pit road is Hunter Sr., though. 25 seconds sitting here in the box.
Yep, go see what happened.
Yep.
Is he squished?
Well, I don't see anything here. Car looks to be in good shape. Engine is running, though.
Okay.
So I don't know if what exactly happened to Hunter Sr. out there, but it looks like a ill-timed pit stop here.
That's something more than that. It's that long, don't you think?
You would think. I see something back here with Hunter Sr. and Matthew George, but nonetheless, this is just him coming on down. I don't see where...
Well, while he's sitting down there, I'll go easy. How's that?
Yep.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know if he's having a problem or what's going on here.
Oh, we'll go see. I'll be back.
Yep. All right. Stella goes ahead and leaves. Stella joins us out there in the chat. Hey, how are you doing? I've got Dalton Tucker and Brian Jones in the lead. They go back into their original qualifying positions on lap number 90. As we come up on the halfway point here of this race, the Checker Auto Parts 500 all green since the first drop here of the race. Fortunately, we haven't had any issues out there on the track. Closest thing we've seen is Hunter Sr. Him coming down for a odd pit stop here for the last 2 minutes. And currently, I believe that is Ryan Housden. He'll be coming on down. So the 40, the 41 are coming down pit road. The 42 remains here in the lead. He's running up on the back end of Cody Reeder, who's sitting down in the 11th spot. So they go ahead and pass Ryan Housden, putting him a lap down now. And oddly enough, you would think Cody Reeder, that would not be the case. He is already down close to a lap, but he's able to fight and get them back since he is the only driver who came down twice. Ryan Housden now making it twice. And Hunter Sr. as well, so Cody Reeder really offset pit here. As he is in the back of the field. They'll have plenty of fuel to make it farther than the rest of these guys, but no can do, trying to separate himself, as he's not really at an advantage here with his tires. Cody Reeder coming down on lap number 62. Dalton Tucker on lap number 47. The number 20 working his way down into pit. Jacob Gladelick in the Tony Stewart machine, working his way on down. Nick Pressey stays out there on the track. Seaglass came in on lap number 56. So pit stop starting to heat up a little bit here. Pit road is getting busy. Tucker, Jones, Conover, 1, 2, and 3. Wayne Eastwood sits in fourth. Vincent Arthur is fifth. As I say that, here comes Brian Jones. Jones coming on down. The last time was a 29:38. About a tenth faster than Dalton Tucker out there, but is well off of his best. 27:84. Our only driver out there, Brian Jones, to break into the 27s on his best lap. And Stella, you have an update for me on Hunter Sr.
I do. Actually, he was tempted, and he decided to take up his pit stop. His pit crew, they had ice cream.
Unbelievable. Okay. Well.
So much like Days of Thunder, they tempted him, and he took the opportunity. So he's back out on the track, and he will continue to race, but not competitively.
Bummer.
Dalton Tucker, down pit. And out. Nice 14.7.
Everything's starting to settle down just a little bit here. Stella right now, lap number 97 underway here of 187 laps. This race definitely being a little bit tricky for some. Take a look at Brady Moats back here. Him starting to fight to get around Ryan Housden.
Ryan Housden swishing back and forth there in front of Brady Moats.
Well, these guys definitely complain about these Gen 4 cars, that the draft package is not the way they like, and it's kind of a crappy scene out there. But
is that really a consideration here, drafting?
A little bit, not a lot. But when you have somebody get behind you and take the air off that rear spoiler, you'll see drivers like Ryan Housden fishtailing a little bit, trying as he pulls out the turn. So, yep. As we break past the halfway point of this race, looks like 2 pit stops so far for most of these gentlemen out there. As currently Vincent Arthur is working his way on down. Currently he's been feeling pretty good about this race. He was pretty excited to see how this one ends up. As we currently keep our guys out there on the track. Wayne Eastwood is now up to second. Josh Conover takes over the lead. Our driver, Dalton Tucker, was able to get in and out of pit road super fast out there. And Dalton Tucker here to the inside of the number 20 machine.
Here comes Nick Dilas and Josh Conover for their turn down pit road.
Yep. Currently, Brian Jones with a 14.97 pit stop, 14.75 out there. Or excuse me, 14.70 by Dalton Tucker. Puts Dalton Tucker back into the number 1 spot here when these guys get collected back up. Currently at a 33 lap deficit at 30 reader. So expect to see him pit sooner than later, but he will be going a permanent lap down, if not 2.
Rough. Brady Moats coming in, and John Skavnicki coming out with a 14.5.
Yeah, not a horrible pit stop time there. Definitely hard to beat when you got Josh Conover turning 14.25 seconds. 4 tires and fuel, so he's on a blazing roll here. Conover definitely wants to get back in to the top 5. We still wait for Wayne Eastwood to come join us, as lap number 54 is the last time we saw him.
He and Nick Pressey, I believe, are our last holdouts before they come to their second pit stop tonight. It's interesting, though, I've noticed in this particular round of pit stops, actually everyone has had 14-second pit stops. I mean, last time it was like a half and half, 14 and 15 seconds. I wonder if they changed that fuel.
I think just a little faster on the pit stop this time.
Okay.
Hey, I give it to Greg, though. He's most likely sitting up there in the race control tower, taking a look down into pit road, making sure nobody's slicing off that turn. Let's see if they can save a little time heading down into pit road.
Oh, is this the track where if you go
Whoa,
on the
Vince
inside, yeah, that was close. Or
Yep.
at least it sure looked like it from here. Where if you run down the inside line, you save a couple seconds.
Yes.
Okay, I remember that.
Right. So where is Brady Motes? There he is. This is currently Brady Motes looking for the 9th position here. See if he can overtake Nick Gillis. He's got the 2-lap advantage on his tires. Brady Motes, that is. Take a look, see if he can put that Ford behind him here.
Not much in the scheme of things, though.
A 2-lap advantage?
Yeah.
No, not too much. And if you get caught racing side by side, you can go ahead and take that little advantage and just kind of throw it right out the window.
Okay.
Nick Cressy, I think, has been expecting a caution here, but that is not going to be the case. Zero car has yet to pit since lap number 56.
Oh my. Yeah, that is wishful thinking tonight.
Yeah, Cressy now falling back to 8th. Cody Reeder now for his 3rd time in.
Yeah, last week the only caution we did have was a single car spin and reverse on the track, which was actually Nick Gillis.
Yep, definitely almost made it clear, coming away with no caution. I know, it kind of baffles me. Sometimes you go to some of the tracks, like Bristol, and you'll see a 300-lap race, no caution. And then you go to a track like Kansas, and you end up with 12.
Yeah.
Why? Why? You know, people at Bristol expect a caution out there. You know, guys slamming into each other and dragging the turn a little too far. And then
you get all kinds of things. I mean, sometimes you'll do a race and you'll have 3 guys left on the lead lap just because of all the mess.
Definitely some offset pitting out there. All right, speaking of which, Cody Reeder will remain a lap down here. See him getting around Nick Ham. Nick Ham does need to come down and visit.
Again.
Pit road. Nick Ham last came down on lap number 41, where he spent 10 minutes down there. So he was able to re-emerge. I think I'm looking at his time on his tires. Currently, he is 49 laps.
Agreed.
And has Hunter Sr. taken it back to the garage?
I guess he did.
I think the number 40 has taken it on out. Driver from Chip Nasi Racing not going to continue competing here tonight, as Hunter Sr. does not seem to have the same bug that Jay does, saying he had some SimTraX withdrawals. Appreciate you guys joining us here tonight as we are winding this one down here at this race and for the season. The race will continue here to lap 187. I expect to see no cautions here to the end unless somebody fumbles. Next week, we are going to be at the Southern 500. The Mountain Dew Southern 500, that is. At Darlington for the second to last race. And then we are going to finish at the Ford 400 for Homestead. That'll end up being the end of our season here with the National Oval Racing Association. Definitely expect to see us finding leagues to broadcast out there. I'm sure we will have a few people knocking the door down out there. I know during new seasons, it definitely gets super busy.
It does. It's very strange. It's like Easter family.
So Josh Conover currently sitting in third here, Stella. And right now it's pretty good here for Josh Conover. I think he'd like to get up a few more positions, or at least a couple. Because actually...
Got a 10-second deficit just to find Brian Jones, though.
Yeah. And I think almost 12 and a half to find Dalton Tucker. So Dalton definitely been a laser beam here tonight. And I think he realized Brian Jones was trying to get that extra 5 bonus points. As Dalton Tucker takes his racing very seriously out here. He does not mess around. He loves winning. If you're not first, you're last mentality.
Oh.
Dalton been pretty strong. There's a reason why he holds the points lead out there. He has been doing an awesome job out there. Alrighty, we are going to cut away here for just a moment. No sponsor commercials here. We're just going to kind of give you a turn it up section here for just a moment. We're going to go ahead and let these guys go ahead and run this race here for a few laps. We'll poke back in about, let's say, lap 130 here. We'll kind of poke around with these guys, take a ride with them. And we'll be right back here to bring you the final here of the Checker Auto Parts 500. Lap number 130 coming to a close as we start lap number 131. We hang out with our drivers out there on the track as you get a ride around Phoenix International Raceway right here at the end. So pretty tough track here as this track is starting to slick up a little bit. We notice Nick Geiles freshly going a lap down out there as getting all sorts of squirrely out there on the track. Oddly enough, only 7 drivers remain on the lead lap. The remaining back half is not. Nick Geiles, John Skabnicki, Cody Reeder, Matthew George, Jacob Vladalik, Nick Pressey, and Nick Ham still mobile out there on the track. Our laps down multiple for some, especially if you're a driver like Nick Pressey, unfortunately. He's down a couple of laps out there, and Nick Ham, boy, you're going to need fingers and toes to count how many he's behind, unfortunately. With a 10-minute pit stop out there for Nick Ham, the number 23, that is rather unfortunate for him as he continues to see if he can fight back 24 laps down. Let's take a look at Brady Motes, who's now coming down in the pit road. I'm wondering if he's thinking if he pits now, he will not have to pit for the remainder here of this race. So hopefully right now, Brady Motes trusting the process here to get back out on the track and come up with some more speed. Take a look at Brian Jones now catching up to our lap driver out there of Nick Geiles. Geiles coming on down in the pit road. Let's see. Yep, he's going to make it under speed as he gets past the orange commitment cone and the yellow speed cone. Stella right now, Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, Josh Conover. I can't say I'm surprised.
No, and Vincent Arthur coming in fourth is not much news either. Now, the only thing I can say that is newsworthy there is Vincent Arthur is 16 seconds back from our leader and is even 5 seconds back just looking at Josh Conover in third. We are really stretched out here.
Yep, and would definitely hate to see how spread apart it is. Like you were saying, Vincent Arthur 16 seconds off pace. Closest thing you can get is Josh Conover sitting at almost that 5-second mark. And oddly enough, Dalton Tucker pitted on lap 95, Brian Jones on 94, Conover on lap 100, and Vincent Arthur on lap 98. I mean, pretty wild here of when these guys are deciding to pit. The one who's been out there the longest is going to go to Ryan Housden here in the top 5. He came in on lap number 90. Now, I would say lap number 90, well, we're at 136 now. He's got to be starting to really start checking a few boxes here of what he wants to do and how much longer he should stay out. Housden running a 29.14. That's about par for all our guys here in the front, except Brian Jones, who continues to fall off. Currently half a second off pace front and behind him. Currently, right now, we're wondering if Brian Jones is having a problem out there with some of his equipment.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. He's lost, he's down 2 seconds behind Dalton Tucker. And Josh Conover is his last speed time was 29.32. Brian Jones just picked it up a little bit to 29.30. So they are not going to be making much in the way of inroads on Dalton Tucker.
No, not at all. And like I said, when Brian Jones was there, he ran a 29.6, which really dropped him off the table there. And I hate to see that expellment, almost expelling himself from the race here. He's got to figure out how to come up with some speed here and chase down Dalton Tucker. Now, we know Dalton Tucker, he's fast, but man, Brian Jones, something just seems to kind of catch him off guard here in these last 5 to 8 laps. Certainly that 45's got to have a little more underneath the hood here.
Yeah, John Skebnicki in the 43 is coming down pit road, so he's the beginning of our 90s drivers as far as needing their normal gas and tires.
Yep, and I would 110 expect to see that be the final pit stop for the 43. He should be able to make it to the end after that pit stop, so definitely guys starting to weigh their options here. How long do you hold out? Should Brian Jones pit now and stop this fall off?
I would not want to try to finish the race on the bare steel cords of my tires, which is what it would be if I'm going, 47, 50 laps. That's about as far as we saw anybody go. Ryan Housden running down pit lane.
Man, this is good. Honestly, I'm agreeing with Stella out there in the chat here. She is saying this is some great racing tonight, and I can't help but to feel the exact same way. Yes, we are pretty spread apart out here on the track. Everybody is everywhere out there as we go ahead and pull up a track map.
Oh my.
Yeah, definitely separated. I do have this by our position, not by car number.
Like a road course.
Yep. As they are blown apart out there. As you see the number 8 driver out there, Jacob Gladelick, and the number 20 working his way down into pit road. So a couple of things have changed a little bit for our guys, as they have been fighting to find somebody out there on the track, seeing if they can make a pass on somebody. But quick pit stops out there for some of our guys. Gladelick now entering the box. Conover still remains 3rd out there. And right now, we're wondering if anybody's thinking about changing something up here.
Yeah, or are we just going to kind of go around like a carousel? Everybody moving, but nobody getting anywhere.
Trying to look at some of the strategies out there on top of the pit crew boxes, seeing what the heck is going on, if somebody's got an idea of what to do. Brian Jones needs to come up with 2 seconds, if not 4, to get out in front of Dalton Tucker and stay out. Currently, Vincent Arthur, faster on the back end of his tire run, is now coming back down into pit road for his final time tonight. Does Brian Jones only take 2 tires? Can he risk it?
To me, if he takes 2 tires, he's got to wait even longer before he does that. Because again, you're going to be looking at, 37 lap tires. And now you're only going to have, you're going to have like ancient tires and 37 lap old tires. So that'd be a tough call unless you're looking at, you know, a caution. And ooh, I finally said it. You said it twice. You're still ahead of me. In the last 8 laps or something like that. Maybe then I'd go into 2, just for a quickie.
Yeah, but Brian Jones will need to see if how we can offset this. 2 seconds now. That's how far back he's sitting. 29:31 for Dalton Tucker, 29:21 by Brian Jones.
At least Dalton Tucker, he can see if he goes in first, and he could make the choice that way too. Since he's 2 seconds ahead of him, he'll be able to tell and not get left out in the cold.
See a lot of pointing from the top end of Brian Jones' box out there of what they're thinking about doing, because if you consider Brian Jones would need to pit earlier so he can start getting that speed now. It's easier to block from in front and try to run somebody down a little bit later. Dalton Tucker can almost find speed at will.
Speaking of blocking, Nick Geilis is having the time of his life out here. He has been nothing but trouble for Dalton Tucker. They are playing cat and mouse here, something fierce these last 20 laps.
Yep, Nick Geilis pitting on lap 132. He's enjoying this fresh set of rubber out in front of him as he pulls away. It currently looks like Brian Jones able to make up. It's about 0.4 of a second here on Dalton Tucker already. I'm Scabnicki taking a look here to the inside. 45 going to try to follow. And our first caution here of the night. Brady Moats looks like he misses pit road here.
Oh, no. Did he get the barrels? I don't know if those are his tracks on the... Oh, my. He even left a bumper. Wow.
First caution here of the night on lap 147. Brady Moats looks like this is going to be a single car. And this is going to mix it up, especially with lapped cars.
Oh, yeah.
May or may not be double file here. Brady Moats. Let's take a look.
I don't even know if that was a pit road entry attempt. I think that was just a loop.
Yep.
Okay. But we have a fire sale. Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, Josh Conover, Ryan Housden, and Nick Ham all have come down on this lap.
Yep, here we are. Take a look. Dalton Tucker and Brian Jones. This will be the opportunity. Brian Jones extremely strong in the first half of his tire run, and Dalton Tucker able to capitalize in the back half. We see these two work their way out of pit. There goes Dalton, and here comes Brian. Out they go. Josh Conover going ahead and resuming his third position. Excellent job here. As it shows Nick Pressey. Uh-oh.
Oh. Did he run out of...
Oh, sure hope not.
No, because he came in at 145.
Yeah, him coming to a full stop there.
At least he did it while there was already a caution.
Yep, Cody Reeder, I believe, is the one who gets a lap back here. May be wrong.
Well, is it a lap? Well, he would get to be in the front line, but not a waiver. Right.
One gets the waiver out. The rest that are laps down will line up on the inside.
It does. Okay.
Yes,
so
there is a waiver round, but only to one car. Nowadays, if there was a waiver round, that would require, obviously, the lucky dog, but then it will require all the vehicles, and then they can shift like 5 or 6 of them for...
I didn't think we did lucky dogs. I thought the lapped car was they were on the inside line. But one day you'll have to explain to me why only one guy ever lines up on the inside line. Everybody else is on on the long tail.
Because they ain't be thinking too good.
Oh. Oh.
As a discussion I have had after hours about why only one vehicle lines up to the inside. You can see Ryan Housden, he's lining up. Currently, Ryan Housden should also have John Skavnicki sitting behind. There we go. Jacob Gladelick is on the outside.
Okay.
And the longest line.
I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, I could see the person in caution getting the longest line, but he's still in pit road. Pit stall.
Yeah, it used to, all lapped cars go to the inside. You do not start at the end of the longest line unless you are the wave around car.
Okay.
The wave around car starts at the back end of the field.
Okay. But they get their lead lap. But here we go. Pace car is off the track, and we are back under green.
Yep. Oddly enough, it looks like Josh Conover gets the second position as Brian Jones gets third. Not 100% sure. We saw how they were leaving pit road there.
They didn't start that way. Okay.
Here's so. Went nose to tail.
I'll be darned.
That's why I'm a little confused here. This is the lineup.
Oh, I'm very confused. They did come off pit road.
Yes.
Saw that. Okay.
Ryan Jones getting a solid jam up here. Dalton Tucker, as the last thing they needed him to do was get that fresh air out front. So this may be about 33 laps of Dalton Tucker here in the lead.
Yeah, I think the probably is getting that most laps 5-point bonus. What do you think?
Yeah. I'd like to take an opportunity here to see what... This is pit lane.
There's the crossover.
Pass. Anyway.
Yep.
We're just going to drop it. All right, Dalton Tucker, Josh Conover, Brian Jones, Cody Reeder, Vincent Arthur. Arthur around the outer fifth spot. Arthur, he does fall off pace here a bit. Way back already, 3 seconds off our time out there.
That is better than where they were before. Happy thoughts.
I don't like to see us, 5 laps into a green flag. Fall off on this, 7 cents a lap.
It would make you wonder.
It looks like he did get caught behind some lap traffic.
There we go.
So that's what got him jammed. Well, that was the love-hate relationship with this track. The guys who were laps down were excited because they get an opportunity to try to get a lap back, but that does mean you need to be faster.
Our closest setup right here. Josh Conover, Cody Reeder. Both of them trying to catch Brian Jones. Woo. Cody Reeder go. He almost put on a little set of afterburners there.
Good job trail braking there by Cody Reeder. Talk about a stroke of luck here. A little offset pitting was not paying off. And now he's able to make up the difference here, sitting in 4th. Jones is trying to make up the gap here to Ryan Housden. Housden may help his teammate of Dalton Tucker stay way out in front. Currently looking at Brian Jones, sitting about 1.4 seconds off. Dalton Tucker, 26 to go. 25 here at the line as Dalton Tucker leads this race. And now
Yeah, I
Brian.
have to admit, I did expect to see him be much closer and giving more of a challenge to Dalton Tucker after that caution.
I would say yes, I just don't know why he lined up behind Josh Conover. Yeah, I can't for the life of me figure out why. Because Brian Jones should have been stuck to the back bumper of Dalton Tucker on that restart. The two of them break in front of the lapped cars, and then they should be the two driving away. Because that's what we saw at the beginning half of the, the beginning of the race.
I was going to say, at the start of the race, it was, Brian Jones who got off the line first and was doing, really splendidly for the first 30 laps or so. So, hey, Lockridge Jones is back.
Yep. He's kind of hoping the last 25 laps shake up out there. It is definitely possible. Currently, Brian Jones is still tracing Dalton Tucker out there. Fortunately, a little bit of a stumble there during our lineup. As currently we see Cody Reeder challenging for third. Nice little wiggle there in the Brady Moats spin out area. Moats currently down in pit road for the 9.5 minutes, trying to piece his car back together. Might have wished he had hit the barrels, but he did not. Scrubs the nose of it with a little bump there to the inside pit. Well, the outside pit wall.
Could it have caused less damage hitting the barrels?
I wouldn't think, but I would hope that just nudging the side of his car instead of hitting the front nose of the car.
Okay. Because, man, I've seen some guys just blow apart those barrels.
Yep. I would love to see a nice little door down there, but nothing else. Who was it that hit the barrels at, where was it, the Glen? Was that Hamlin? I think Denny Hamlin hit the barrels. Help me out here, Jay.
Yes, that's
All right, take a look at this battle here. Stella, call this one. I'm looking at Cody Reeder here to the inside of Josh Conover.
That he is. He is going to be challenging him definitely on this corner. And here he comes. But Josh Conover's holding him down. That's interesting. So Cody Reeder's going to have to pull in behind him.
All right. Losing the battle there is the 19. It's currently Matthew George, who's our 11th place driver, starting to reel in the Mountain Dew machine. Lockridge Motorsports out there saying Boyer is the one to win. Yep.
What? There we go. Lockridge will get him squared away. I expect shimmy there from Cody Reeder. I expect to see him though push Conover to the end. I don't think he's going to give up, but let's see what Matthew George has in store. He's going to put a little pressure on if he comes from behind on Cody Reeder and lifts that back end up. That's going to change a lot of. Oh no! Never mind. He just changed things all by himself. Green tag to the wall.
Yep, 24 car here at Benson Arthur taking a look to the inside. I believe I am correct though. Danny Hamlin crashes at Watkins Glen pit entry. July 28th of 25.
I think we have an in-car view of Cody Reader. I'm kind of curious if he's got a steering issue now because he seems to be fighting something.
Yeah, he may have been overheating those tires trying to run down Josh Conover. The thing about trail braking a little bit is it does apply a little more heat to that right front tire. That's why he was able to dive into that turn so much faster than Josh Conover was. Rather than using the brakes, he used the tires to help get him through. And I think right now Cody Reader's starting to feel that a little bit now that he's been beating on him for about 15 laps. And with 14 to go, Cody Reader, he is now unfortunately feeling that.
Slime. So basically what he's feeling is, the track is slicker. Oh, going into the ball again. Slicker than the houndstooth?
Yep. A little trouble here. Reader getting through that turn. Keep in mind, it doesn't look like they're going fast. That was 120 through that turn here.
Yes.
And that being the flattest turn out there, 100 miles an hour through turn 1 and 2. A little bit of bounce out at 155. And diving back in, he's going to go ahead and let Matthew George on around. He's down.
Yeah, I think he'd rather not have that extra push. Or have to rear view mirror drive.
Yep. Yeah, even Lockhart saying, yep, oh boy, there go his fronts. So, Lockhart definitely, Evan Lockhart, that is, definitely helps his drivers out there kind of learn a little bit about the cars and what they do and what you were to expect out of the race car when you do certain things to it.
I kind of think of, again, I know it's beating a dead horse, but with Days of Thunder, the way Tom Cruise was like, I don't, I just drive. I don't know what this means, that means, or how to change something. And his crew chief explained it to him, and I'll tell you, Lockridge out there, he can do that same thing for you as a driver. He sets it up and he knows what the setup does, so he can explain to you, if you keep doing this, this is, ABC is going to happen. So that's a huge benefit, for somebody versus just here, push the gas harder.
Yep. He says, I don't know what you mean by taking out a round or wedge. I don't know what that is,
Right.
Yep.
Brady Moats. Looks like he's finally called it an evening and has taken it back to the garage.
All right. Yep. I see Brady Moats with 16 minutes down in the box, but Nick Cressy has taken it all back on lap 168. He had enough. Pretty rough there. Nick Ham still rolling around out there on the track. I think if he can complete another 14 laps, Nick Ham will actually have a 12th place finish here tonight. I don't think there's enough on the track.
No, but we only have 8 more to go.
Yep. Well, Cody Reader under fire, though. This is the battle here for the 4th position. Vincent Arthur's been in it a bunch here. Cody Reader happy to be at least back onto the lead lap. Here comes the DuPont Chevrolet to the inside. Currently, Reader has been running very slick out there. He tries to keep that Hendrick car down behind him.
The dip when they came into that turn, you could see Vincent Arthur's car just go from 3 inches above the ground to flat.
Yep. Take a look here. Vincent Arthur should be peeking into the screen here. Gets a good run between 3 and 4. Taking another look. Cody Reader, this is his most hated turn. And that's why. Just can't keep that thing stuck to the track. Lockridge out there. You're happy to see that 24 car as he dives in pretty hot. That's going to give Cody Reader a shot here to the inside. Currently, the 19 Ford here of Cody Reeder, driven out there by Jeremy Mayfield. And keep in mind, remember these two have had some history.
Ain't giving up yet. His car got loose.
I know, you would almost think Cody Reeder would like to repay him the favor that he got last race. And he does.
Instead, no. Okay. You think 19 came up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 19, his right side tires are gone. Right now, Cody Reeder wants to finish in 4th. Currently, the DuPont Chevrolet, driven by Vincent Arthur to the outside. Expect Reeder. Yep. Oh. Yep, he's trying to send a little bit of a message here. They say there's no drama in leagues, but I say there is. There's always something going on behind the scenes. Currently, the 19 machine of Cody Reeder taking a look here, holding the bottom line.
Bottom line is usually Vincent Arthur gives him a wide berth on that turn and pulls him behind it.
Yep, well, expect the switch up. Vincent Arthur most likely going to slice back to behind him and then going to chop back to the inside. Arthur knows he cannot make the pass or any speed there on the outside, so now he's going to work on Reeder again.
3 laps to go.
Inside, and here comes Arthur. Arthur and the Jeff Gordon machine taking a look here. Only has a fender on him, though. Currently, Vincent Arthur, whoa!
Yeah.
Yep, getting a little bit loose, 2 to go. Definitely keeping us busy here in the booth, and you guys on the edge of your seat here for the final shot. Yeah, this may only be the battle for 4th. Dalton Tucker leading this race here by almost 4 seconds, and currently to 4 thousandths of a second is when we see these two side by side, so we're going to stick right here. Dalton Tucker will go ahead and win this race unless he has a complete explosion out there. That's going to leave Brian Jones in 2nd, Josh Conover 3rd, Cody Reeder or Vincent Arthur will be 4th. We'll find out. Both these guys look to be lining themselves up here for a top 5. Good run there by Cody Reeder. Here it comes down to the final shot. Turn number 3, the 19 machine. Vincent Arthur might try to pivot. Is not going to get any good block here by the 19. Currently, Cody Reeder is going to have it.
All right, 1924. Dalton Tucker in 1st. Brian Jones 2nd. Josh Conover came in 3rd. Cody Reeder 4th. Vincent Arthur 5th. Wayne Eastwood 6th, and Nick Geilis in 7th. The rest are a lap down, and we'll bring up the chart and show you where your favorite drivers finished this evening.
All right, unofficial results pending here. Getting ready to run these guys down is a good job. A little love tap there from teammate Ryan Housden. As a burnout, another one here by Dalton Tucker. We saw him win his 50th race here, and yet again. I'll tell you what, Dalton Tucker has been a heck of a driver here this season and comes away with yet another win. You can see Devin Lockridge out there is rooting on the 24 Vincent Arthur, but you want to talk about some guy who's a bolt of lightning. You got plenty of choices here in this league.
Yes, that you do.
Awesome job here. The 45 machine yet again. Obviously, these two keep switching back and forth. I can see why it would take the wind out of the sails of anybody out here. It's either the 42 or the 45. Somebody's coming in that number 1 spot. As Dalton Tucker, I believe, even correct track to be doing the Polish lap here.
Yes, it is. This is where it started with Alan Kulwicki. Do you know what year he started doing that?
Oh.
If you get this one.
No, I would think 91, but I think that's way too late.
88.
Okay. My original guess was going to be 86, but I figured that was too old.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, 86
goodness.
too old, 91 too late. Boy, I gotta be somewhere in the middle. But whatever. We'll get it. We'll log that in the back of the brain.
Yeah, I
Dalton
bet you
Tucker,
will.
awesome job here. Another fantastic win there by Dalton Tucker. All right, guys, hang in there just a moment. We're going to round out our top 3. Hopefully smoke through them here pretty quick and get you guys back to your lives, because we have got to show up half an hour early next race, as going to be the crown jewel there at Darlington. So expect a ton of laps, a ton of racing, and hopefully we definitely are able to collect another 10 drivers for that one and let them duke it out at Darlington. But let's talk to the guys here about Phoenix, and we'll be right back. All right. Well, we are catching up with our third place finisher here of Josh Conover. Josh, Phoenix, man, this race, switching back and forth. Cody Reeder down some laps. Brady Motes going ahead and biting the inside wall to bring our only caution here of the night. Boy, talk to me a little bit about this race. We had a caution last race, only one, Nick Gillis. We had one caution this race. The process didn't work for our number 1 car, but it worked for you, finishing third.
Yeah, I would say I kind of lucked into it. Vinny was definitely P3. I think if he didn't speed that first run, he would have been right with the other 2, and they would have been probably half a track ahead if the caution didn't come out. But we'll take it. Got 2 races left now, and just keep chugging, I guess.
All right, I am going to ask Brian Jones the same. On our lineup there after the caution, what put the number 8 in front of the 45?
I'm assuming he sped on pit road, because whenever I left my stall and we got off pit road, it told me to get by him, and it wasn't like Greg didn't hand it out or anything. So I'm assuming he got caught for speeding at some point down the line there.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's what we were wondering as I was looking. I said, Brian Jones obviously beat you off pit road. I think he had 2 seconds before you got to the line and a little bit of offset out there. So, all right. Third place finish here. I know we're kind of behind in the points, but we head to Darlington. One of the crown jewels out there. Definitely brings one of a lot of our drivers, especially drivers like Dustin Kleba. We might see the number 9 return back to the track out there as one of our tough racers out there. You know, how does it feel coming into the crown jewel race, and then how does it feel coming to the end of the season here rather soon?
Darlington and I always have a love-hate relationship. It always takes me like half or 3/4 of the race to remember how to drive it. And qualifying before we came to Phoenix for me was not very good. I think I was like 2.5 tenths off. But, you know, like I said, that's kind of typical, it seems. I'll kind of start around mid-pack, and then by like halfway, I kind of figure it back out what I'm doing. But I don't know. We'll see. And then, yeah, end of the year, like I said, we got 2 races left. I think we're pretty much fighting for 5th in points with Brady and like Gladich and I think Matty George. But yeah, we'll I guess get ready for 05 and the duels, and we'll have an announcement more than likely here within the next week or so regarding some other stuff we're going to be doing, and some off-season plans as well. So yeah, I don't know, kind of looking up at future plans, I guess.
Awesome. Pretty excited to see how all that comes out. How can somebody find those future plans?
Facebook, National Oval Racing Association. There is another NORA league. I think they're like the National Outlaw or something like that. But National Oval Racing Association, the logo should just be a gray logo with, NORA spelled out. And yeah, or I know, like, I think it's LJ with Brian, he's been asking about it. Or if you have somebody in here, get a hold of them, and we can get you set up in Discord and either get you out here for the last 2 races or, the off-season stuff. We always probably most likely end up crying the off-season races because we're laughing so hard. So it's always nice to finally relax and have some fun.
All right, well, we saw you had to go to the backup car at the very end of practice out there. Apparently, Dalton Tucker figured out that the nose was a shovel, and you drive through people out there on pit road. Josh, shout-out time.
Hey, you guys for the broadcast, the 15 strong that are still showing up and supporting, even the owners guys, they obviously, this year, they aren't racing for anything as of right now, obviously, but, we'll get that fixed up next year and get something going their way as well as far as, incentive. The points guys, even if they didn't make the chase like Nick or, Wayne, they're still out here chugging along with us. So hats off to them guys. Like I said, you guys, as always, definitely go back and watch. Hopefully you got the battle with me and Cody there. I had probably my favorite move of the race there, I think on lap 165 or so. And yeah, we'll see what brings next week with the last crown jewel of the year. And hopefully we can get about the same 15 or maybe add a couple more.
Cool. All right, Josh, congratulations on a third-place finish, buddy. A little too late, too little, but, hey, still another great run. We'll see you at Darlington.
Appreciate you.
Yep. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for Josh Conover, who did a heck of a job here tonight. But, Brian, we'll go ahead and start off immediately, right off the bat. What put Josh Conover in front of you at that restart?
I was just speeding. Trying to get a little too much there. Not even really trying to get too much. I just wasn't really paying attention. Dumb mistake on pit road. Kind of cost me a chance there at the end.
Boy, that little of a mistake changed everything. And I would think that you
out of your pit box.
No, I was just driving down the pit road. I guess I went a little too fast for a little too long. Because you can go like 1 over. And I guess I went 1.5 over, so they got me.
Okay, but it was on the way out, I'm assuming. Otherwise, they would have held you in the pit box, right?
No, it was before the pit box.
Really? Okay, I am totally confused. All right, I'll go back to my normal state of confusion.
Yeah, I think that you get held if it's under green, but because it was under yellow, it's just an EOL penalty.
Bummer.
Okay.
All right, well, because we were really hoping that after a 4-tire change, enough fuel to make it to the end, that you and Dalton Tucker would almost have let's say, a redo to the start of the race. Obviously, you had the first half dialed in, but Dalton had the second half, and this should have been right in your wheelhouse at the restart after our only caution here tonight. Anything you would have changed? I mean, obviously not speeding through pit road.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy answer. I definitely wouldn't have sped on pit road. Not that I was trying to, but yeah, I mean, I think that if there wasn't a caution there, I had a little strategy that would have given me a shot at winning. The other shot at winning would have been not speeding and just being better on the restart. But the reason I was good on the very first start of the race, I was on the outside lines, and I think that's preferable with new tires to be on the outside. So that's really all that was.
Okay, well, it's definitely tough doing it there, but as the track rubbered up, things started changing out there on the track. We saw Brady Moats get a little bit loose out there. Nick Pressey bit the wall a few times out there. Even Cody Reeder, your own teammate out there, had kind of been wall riding a little bit there as he was fending off Vincent Arthur. So as the track changed, a lot of things definitely started getting really, really, really slick out there on the track, but that's what we're going to see at Darlington. Everybody earns their stripe there. I'm sure you will as well. How do we overcome and possibly put a win in the bag?
Just got to be patient, save tire. And to be honest, I haven't run Darlington in this car, I don't think. I think the first time we went there was in the old car. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to try and save tire, try and be fast, try and win a race.
Yep, it should have been the old Gen 4. So, yeah, everything's going to change up just a little bit out there. I'm sure Dalton Tucker is going to try to dial this thing in and be ready for you at Darlington. All right, Brian, shout-out time.
Yeah, big shout out to the wife Alanis. She's very supportive of all the things that I do, so I appreciate that. Shout out to LJ. Shout out to Expel. Go buy all the stuff, do the things, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it's still Alanis for the discount?
Yes. Use code Alanis20 at checkout. To get 20% off your order.
There you go.
There you go. See it there, Stella, on the left quarter. There we go. That way you can spell it. All right. Beautiful. All right. Brian, sorry to see you not come away with the win, buddy. We had a few people out there rooting for you. And LJ and Alanis will be ready for you at Darlington, and we will as well. Congratulations on your second place finish, and we will see you there.
Thank you all. We're going to go try and get one more the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. Hey, 30 minutes early.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget. All right. That should do it. All right. Brian Jones, awesome job. So Dalton Tucker, apparently with as far ahead as he was for the win, he'll make sure he's at Darlington 30 minutes ahead of schedule. Right now, Dalton, what a race, buddy. Another win, and this one just seems to get easier and easier for you the more you're out front.
I mean, you might have had it right with being easy out front, but it was definitely not easy to get there because people like Brian and even Vinny before his penalty, I mean, they were right there with me and had every bit the same speed. So just being able to get in front of Brian was absolutely the key for tonight because I don't know how much clean air helped, but it definitely felt like it did just based on lap times. But that was... I can't honestly feel my hands right now.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, gripping the wheel a little too tight out there. So, Dalton, when we see a race like this come about, you had a lot of trouble with a few drivers out there, and one that I think even Stella would like to circle is the number 12 out there of Nick Gillis. This guy, I think, had the time of his life out there,
Yes.
trying to keep the 42 in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, heat of the moment. I was just thinking about last week, how he brought the caution out and essentially took a win away from me last week. And I'm not going to lie, that front bumper and his rear bumper was looking pretty good at some point. And I thought about it, but I was thinking big picture. So I eventually got around him and was able to put a gap on us.
Well,
I love it.
Well, Dalton,
I love it.
Yeah, a lot of tumble ups there with Nick Gillis. Brian Jones getting off to an early lead here in the race, and you still maintain composure when it comes to pit road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen enough of these races this season. It can make or break you on pit lane. Vinny's had a handful of penalties. Brian's had a handful of penalties. Dustin, and I might have a slow entry, but I'm going to make sure I don't speed because it can, with these long green flag runs, it can kill you.
We had a ton of cautions back in New Hampshire, and we have cleaned up immensely into these playoffs where we have a maximum of 8 to 9 cautions for the last 7 races or so. Is that the way you like to see the racing done here before I get your shout-outs? You know, do you like seeing long green flag runs, or do you like the occasional caution, kind of a reset, get your car squared away, and then go back out there and duke it out again?
If I was going strictly based off of just being able to run, I would say I like long green flag runs to where I can get in a rhythm and eventually figure out what works best for me and put the best laps together I can. But as far as like an enjoyable, fun race, I think you need cautions of some sort. It gets so spaced out, and then it just feels like you're out there just
Practicing.
cruising around. Yeah, you're just cruising, and you're not really racing. There's definitely a fine line on how many is too much, and then 0 cautions to me is never a great thing. It's something you want to applaud the drivers on, but it's not a good thing for the race.
Yep. Well, I'll meet you somewhere in the middle. How about we keep it long green flag runs and add 15 drivers?
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
There we go. So we had 15 drivers, long green flag runs. You got plenty of passing. I mean, you guys are spread out tonight. Let's go ahead and mash, 2 to 3 more people per turn there, and let's see how it goes. All right, Dalton, you've got a long week here before we head to Darlington. You better get ready for that one. It's the crown jewel. We got to be there 30 minutes early. And it's going to be a full-length race. So we need to make sure we get that 42 Haviland machine out there and try to make a name for yourself yet again. Go and give me a shout-out there, buddy.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a race I'm not going to miss. Darlington's always been good to me. I love running there. Been to plenty of races there, and it's just as they say, it's toughest to tame, and that's the fun of it. When it does get spaced out, it's like a race in its own race, because you're racing the track at that point. So that's gonna be fun next week. Hopefully I can get a big enough lead to get over Brian, and maybe when I go to Universal Studios for Thanksgiving, I don't have to try to show up. But we'll see how that goes.
Goodness. No,
Yeah.
there's no racing in the motel room.
There might be a PlayStation controller in my hand at some point that week.
Okay.
But yeah, as always, just shout out to the guys that showed up. I think Phoenix is a really fun track. Wish more guys would show up, because it would just make it even better with multiple lanes, different strategies, just stuff like that working. But appreciate the guys that did show up. Glad to have my teammates back. I think Hunter got a little frustrated tonight, but Ryan had a lot of speed. I think y'all saw that at the end, where he arguably could have ran top 3 if he could have been up there. So that was nice to have him up there, as I hate to say it, but a little bit of a buffer between me and Brian. So that definitely put my mind at ease a little bit. So glad to have them back. Hopefully these last 2 races we can get even more people to show up and finish the season out strong, but not too many people show up, just in case something happens to me. I don't lose too many points.
Ah.
But yeah,
Well-
as always,
Well,
just
your job then is to bring 3 people in next week. Everybody bring 3 people, and we'll be good to go.
I might be paying them to stay away right now.
Oh no,
No, I'm just kidding.
you caught me off guard with that one. That's a good comeback.
Wow, way to go, Stella. Awesome. Dalton, fantastic job again, buddy. We'll see you at Darlington next week.
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, awesome job here by Dalton Tucker, being able to maintain composure, get through there, no penalties down pit road, and it definitely paid off for him. So that's going to leave us with Dalton Tucker, Brian Jones, and Josh Conover. Fantastic job we saw him doing here, and definitely most laps, led laps, and comes away with yet another win. Stella, anything left to add here before we go ahead and sign off for the night?
Well, everybody, make sure you show up 30 minutes early for next week. If you didn't miss it all those times that Patrick said it. Darlington, full race. What's that? 300 laps or something?
Just
It's
about.
gonna be it. Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting race. I am sorry I will be missing the next 2, but I will do my best to keep up with all you fellas. I'm not quite sure how the overseas Wi-Fi will treat me, but I will be out there rooting for all of you to have a great finish to your season.
All right, Stella, appreciate you joining me here tonight, and for what you could here of this season. You keep jumping across that pond, and I think everybody out there is starting to get sick of it. So maybe we'll see how it goes. Jay out there saying 367. I see 275 on the books here for us. Yeah, I think 367 should be the correct number of laps, but they have skinnied that down a little bit. If we only have 11 drivers for 367, we're going to be having a long night here. But that should do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the National Oval Racing Association, the Gen 4 Cup Series. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.